Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons with Columbia Grain here in your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we did make it through another week, and it was actually the week after St. Patrick's Day. So congratulations, everybody. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into it. And let's take a look and see what we actually saw on the week here. So I'm going to share my screen with you again. If we navigate over to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, if we go to the Producer Solutions tab, that'll take us over to our Producer Solutions link, where we house all of our pertinent information like our cash bids and also the latest market news that may be potentially driving the market. But this week, quite honestly, the things were fairly muted until we got to the end of the week here. And this morning, we actually saw a few reports with Russian-Ukraine situation potentially escalating once again, as we did hear of some drone strikes on some energy facilities. So again, I think that was really what we were seeing kind of bring the wheat market back to life at the end of the week here as we closed everything out. The other thing that we were looking at again, and we continue to look at, is going to be the weather as we move forward and how that's going to impact the overall conditions of everything that we're continuing to see, and what, if any, weather premium that we should be building into the market as we continue to go forward. So if we take a look at our screen, we do have the official 30-day forecast from NOAA here, looking at the next month, and it does continue to look that we will see above, slightly above normal temperature outlook as we move into the following month here. And same thing with the monthly precipitation. We do see that we could see things coming a little bit above average in some of the Corn Belt area. And quite honestly, we were definitely seeing the dry conditions get talked about more and more as we continue to move forward here. But when we look at the longer term weather outlooks, it does look that we may see some relief coming in that regard. But again, once we next week, we will have the planning intentions report. That'll be out on March 28th. So definitely something to continue to look forward to as we get into next week, and what the potential risk premium that we should be continuing to build or take away from the market. The other thing that we saw here this week, I mean, we had the export sales that we always do. This week we continue to see a little bit more corn being sold. Let's take a look in with the that's the export pace. Let's see the export sales report. There we are for corn, actually coming in at 46 million bushels last week. We actually did have another flash sale this morning, totaled 263,000 tons. It's kind of split between old crop and new crop. Looks like there was 173,000 tons of old crop corn flash sold to Mexico here, and also 90,000 metric tons of new crop corn sold to Mexico as well. To Mexico as well. That was flashed this morning. Again, those numbers are not included with what was sold last week. And soybeans, again, seeing a 18.2 million bushel sales total from last week. Definitely nice to see the soybean program continuing further into the spring months as we continue to move forward here. And on wheat, we actually saw a net cancellation of old crop of 4 million bushels, primarily coming from cancellation of soft red cargoes of 8.7 million bushels to China here this last week. But new crop sales for wheat totaled 10.5 million bushels overall. And you can see how the classes are broken out. 3.1 million for spring wheat, 1.1 for winter wheat, 3.2 for soft red winter wheat, and 3.1 for soft white wheat for new crop sales as well. So definitely nice to see continued interest for new crop as we continue to move forward there. The other thing, I mean, really just taking a look at how everything shook out at the end of the week here. New crop values, again, looking at new crop corn, we see that the range was 12 cents on the week, actually able to hold on to 5 cents of that overall range and close the week out with a positive 5 cents on the day here. On soybeans, we actually saw the weekly range, kind of increasing a little bit. The weekly range, we had a 41-cent range there, but week on week, we actually had a net loss of 4 cents. When we turn the page and look at the wheat complex, Kansas wheat, we actually, for new crop, had a 30-cent range. We're actually able to hold on to 24 cents of that on the week when we closed everything out here today. And in Chicago wheat, we actually had a weekly range of 29 cents, closing the week out with a net gain of 23 cents week on week. And Minneapolis, we actually closed with we had a 17-cent range, and closing the week out with a 9-cent gain week on week. So again, just continue to stress the importance of getting your orders out there and working, because they do work for you regardless of what you're doing and regardless of what time it is. So definitely be sure to get those out there and working. We should be looking at it for new crop, especially, that we do need to continue to feed the market. As we do see rallies, we need to be looking at it and saying, is this a good opportunity for me to take advantage of based on my cost of production, right? So whether that's a hedge to arrive contract, an accumulator contract, a minimum price contract, a cash plus, whatever it may be sure to reach out to your local manager, merchandisers, and buyers and get your orders out there and working. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up for the week here. And remember, when the plate of cookies goes around the table, be sure to grab a couple. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.